So to kind of preface this video before I get into it, I just want to say that I'm not against the armed services or any branches of the military or anything like that. I am solely against overglorified veterans, which are the people I will be talking about in this video. So anyways, let's get this started. What's up dudes and dudettes, thems and theys for those who may or may not be gender fluid. So today I kind of want to start a new series and it's going to be titled Things I Hate. And basically it's just going to be ranting about, well, things I hate. So the first video I'm going to make is somewhat of a controversial topic. It's going to be about overglorified veterans. So when I say an overglorified veteran, I don't mean anyone in the armed forces. I'm talking about the vegans of the armed forces, the ones who just always find a way to tell you that they were in the army, no matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, how close you are. They just always need to throw in that they were in the army or the Marines or anything like that. And one of the most annoying things about it too is you can't have a normal conversation with these people. They will always find a way to talk about themselves and bring it back to the war. It's like, whenever I talk to a true veteran or someone who's like proud that they served, they never want to talk about it. But these people who are the overglorified veterans, they just always want to shove it in your face. They want that respect, they want that glory. It's like it wasn't enough. And most of the time, these are the veterans who work in the kitchen and get write-ups for accidentally discharging their rifles. I don't know, but to me that's just not too much to be proud of. They'll also always find a way or a reason to wear their uniform in public. Now this is different for people who are currently serving in the armed forces, but I'm talking about people who are done and out and they are never going back, who still continue to wear the uniforms out in public. And yeah, I mean, there's a ton of benefits that come with it. Like, you get discounts, you get people to come up and thank you for your service, which, I mean, this is what these people want, by the way, is the thanks for the service. But it's like, why do you need to flaunt it? You get a card that you can show to store owners that will help you get a discount, so you don't have to be in full uniform. What makes it worse, though, is the people that do go up to them and do thank them and ask for a picture, or give them praise, or anything like that, because all that does is enable them, and it makes them want to do it more. These are the narcissists of the army. They're the ones who want the attention, who join the army just for the reason that they could say they were in the army. The best part of it though is they're almost always in the army, which is the easiest branch of the armed forces to get into. It's not like that you see Marines doing this, you see Navy SEALs doing it, and I mean sure, it does happen, but it's almost always army veterans. They always end up thinking that they're better than you and that they know more than you as well. It's like joining the army, signing a piece of paper that pretty much says you're giving your life to the government, is making them a better person than you. That's what goes on in their mind, and that's what pisses me off. Part of the reason for that is these people are always viewed as heroes and they're always the good guys, when that's usually not the case. A lot of people who join the army are absolute douchebags. Am I saying all of them are, or the majority of them? No, but a lot of people who join are actually assholes who just want to legally kill people. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but you get what I mean. Not everyone who joins the army is a hero or a good guy, and a lot of the times the overglorified veterans are the douchebags. And probably one of the things that gets me the angriest, or probably the most angry, is when they use the fact that they're a veteran to pick up girls. And I know what you're probably saying. Vari, you're just jealous. You're just jealous of the veterans because they can get girls. That's what this whole video is. And partly, you're right. Because why would I be up at 3 in the morning talking about why I hate veterans if I could pick up girls? But being completely honest, the girls that I'm into normally aren't into military guys or the type of guy that usually joins the military. The girls that I like aren't usually into, so it's not that big of a deal for me, honestly. And honestly, one of the most annoying things is when they go up to a girl and they use the "I was in the military" pickup line. And obviously it's not the first thing that comes out of their mouth. I mean, it could, because some of these people aren't even self-aware enough to realize that that's just incredibly cringy and no one really cares that much. But it usually comes up in the next few sentences or exchanges, just so they can get that out there, and just so this girl can be like, ooh, he's a tough guy. And that's another issue when they flaunt off their uniform like this, or flaunt off that they're in the military. They're going to come off as a tough guy. Now, I don't have the exact statistics on hand, but if I do find the source, I'll put it in the description. But I read something that it was only 18% of veterans see combat. So there's a chance that our overglorified veteran really did just sit in the kitchen and get write-ups for doing stupid shit on base. And I mean, that just sounds like a frat boy. Like, just a frat boy who's allowed to hold a gun and point it at people without getting in trouble. I mean, if you just look at most of these people who flaunt around their uniforms like that, they usually tend to be frat boys. Just their attitudes, how they are, how they dress, they always just have that frat look to them. And not that there's anything wrong with dressing like a frat boy, because for some people it does fit them. Like, that look does look good on them, and other looks probably wouldn't look as good as that. But there's just that heavy stereotype that follows frat boys, that they're douchebags who like to drink a lot of beer and do stupid shit that interferes with other people's lives. And to kind of back this claim up, you can go on YouTube and find videos of soldiers cussing at children who don't speak English, laughing about it, and then just throwing shit at them. Like, these are the heroes that we're praising here. If you get a kick out of harassing children, there's something fucked up with you. And yeah, I guess I kind of am stereotyping overglorified veterans because these people could have done a good job when they served and they didn't always need to be a douchebag. But that's kind of what follows these people. When they just parade what they've done around, they usually just come off as a douchey type. So maybe I've just been talking to the wrong people, but I have yet to meet an overglorified veteran, or someone who I deem as an overglorified veteran, who has actually done something when they served overseas. Most of their stories are similar to what I expect to hear from people in jail, how they made hooch or how they snuck beer or other drugs onto their base. Or even about prostitutes or just fucking with people. Like, you never actually hear anything good that these people did. But the true veterans, they're the ones who always have either some type of story or the ones who keep quiet about it and they don't share anything, which I completely accept and appreciate, because some of the shit that they go through and they see, they don't want to talk about it or they don't want to bring it up because it's pretty fucked up what goes on over there. And that's just why this gets me so heated. There are actual good people risking their lives, not even taking the praise, and then there's these douchebags who did absolutely nothing for our country, who are taking all their praise and all the money and all the discounts and everything and just taking it away from people who actually deserve it. But with all the hate, I do need to give them one thing, and it's the fact that they actually joined the military. That is something that I probably would never be able to do willingly, or at least without a strong reason. So I do have to give them that, because it does take courage to actually get up and join the military, knowing that your life could be in danger. But that still doesn't change the fact that there are some people who join who come back and be overglorified about it, who just joined because they were lazy and didn't want to go to school or didn't want to get a real job. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too harsh and not really accepting what these people went through, and maybe I'm totally wrong about my stance, but it's just from what I've seen. My sample isn't that big, by the way. I only know 3 veterans, and all 3 of them are overglorified. So I mean, my experience with them is super limited, but just from what I experienced. And one of these veterans, by the way, didn't even make it through boot camp, and they still talk about it all the fucking time. They sprained their ankle in boot camp, had to leave on medical because they weren't able to finish it on time, and they still talk about how they joined the army. And it's just, not to be redundant, but these are the people that I dislike, who take the credit from the people who actually deserve it. But anyways, thank you for watching my video, and I hope it was somewhat entertaining, or at least it was for me, because I got to get my true thoughts out about how I feel about overglorified veterans. And I kind of went off topic a little bit, but that's what I tend to do when I go into kind of ranty stages. Oh, and by the way, don't subscribe because I'm a piece of shit and I don't deserve your subscription. Use it elsewhere. And donate to Make-A-Wish Foundation because cancer fucking sucks.